And we're live. Hello, Coffee Time friends. How y'all doing? Can we talk? Just a few minutes. Can y'all see us? There you are. People are popping on. It's Wednesday night, and it's 80 degrees here.
Wow.
Well, it's not really. It's 72. But it feels hot. It was hot last night. I think it was going to storm.
It never did, though.
Don't think so.
I didn't hear it if it did.
So, we're not cooking tonight. So if you tuned in for some cooking, sorry.
No,
we're not cooking. Mama had late lunch. I had a late lunch. And Mama's having some car issues. I don't know what's wrong with her vehicle. She's got a Highlander, and it's saying something about, what's it say on it, Mama?
Glass door open.
Glass door. We don't have a glass door except the sunroof. So we've had it, jumped it off, and it's out there purring right now. And we just came in from that, and that's what we did. So no supper tonight, but that's the way life goes. But that's okay. We'll have to get that seen about. It must be a short or a fuse because there's no door open, and there's certainly no glass door. I need to look that up. I don't know what it's doing. Anyways, the battery's going dead. She went to get in today to go mail some cookbooks.
Didn't get the mail.
And didn't get a mail, but we'll get them tomorrow. I'll take them tomorrow, and we'll get some down there. And it's running right now. Maybe it'll keep running. So, what are you all up to? We're just going to chat a few minutes. We don't have long, but we want to come on and just say hey and see what y'all have. Cornbread and canned veggies. What's that mean? Who said that? Vegetable soup here tonight. Oh, actually, that sounds good because it's more than what we're having. Thank you for the stars. Who sent those stars? It rolled up. Hey, Judy. Thank you for the stars. I'm just having coffee, and it's good.
And I've got tea. Well, what's left of it, there's a little ice.
Mama's drinking some y'all tea.
Good.
Hello, John and Mama. Hey, Misty Rose. Several people had, one reason I want to come on tonight, several people had questions about Mama's cornbread. And I was surprised because we've made it over and over and over and over and over.
What was the question?
Did you put oil in it? Yes, you put vegetable oil, probably a couple of tablespoons.
In the skillet.
In the skillet, and you preheat it. Get it. That was what made that sizzle when she poured it in there. So right now she's using Three Rivers cornmeal. Somebody want to know what kind of cornmeal? It's Three Rivers. We do use White Lily sometimes, but when you live where you can't get everything, you know how that is. Martha White mix. It's cornbread mix, self-rising cornbread mix. What was the other question? How long does she bake it? We put it in there for 350. We bake it 20 to 25 to 30, whatever it takes to get a good brown on top. Once it gets good brown, it's ready to dump out. You're ready to go.
Sometimes I make it a little thicker than the other.
That's the time difference. And when you're mixing that in a bowl, you don't know if it's going to be, if it's thinner, of course it's going to take a few minutes left. If it's thicker, it's going to take a little bit longer. I think that may have been all the cornbread questions. It was an iron skillet. We baked it in the easy bake oven, but it doesn't matter. You can bake it in any oven. I think that was those questions. How do we season our cast iron skillets? People, there's a secret to that. The secret to seasoning a good cast iron skillet is use it and reuse it. If you want to season it, if I buy one in an estate sale, it may not have been used for a while, or it may even have rust on it. I wash it good with an SOS pad or a steel wool. I scrub it, and I give it a good dawn washing. And then I will put it in the oven with some, not olive oil, but some Crisco fat, some solid. And let that bake, and we'll put it in there. We won't waste the oven heating. We'll put that in there while we're baking something else, don't we, Mom?
Yeah.
And you'll just leave it in there. And every time you bake in the oven, just leave that skillet in there with that little bit of fat in it until you get it to where it's holding, it's the oil will it'll be slicker looking. And then the best thing in the world to do is just start making pork chops in it or bacon. And yes, we do wash our iron skillets. We don't ever wash our cornbread skillet because we just wipe it out. There's nothing wrong with it. But like if you fry pork chops, yeah, you're going to have to wash it. The old rule of not washing cast iron or not getting it, around suds or anything, that was back in the day when soap was homemade and it was lye and it was strong and it would strip all the seasoning off from them and everything. But there's no soap on the market that I know of right now that you can't put a little dab of soap on your rag and give it a good wiping out and rinse it right quick. The key to keeping it seasoned is put it on your stove eye. And if you don't know what we call stove eye, the round thing that you catch, you burn, the burner, and dry that cast iron. And you'll see it, and it'll be wet, and it'll start getting dry, and usually there'll be a spot, and then it'll dry too. That is to get the water out of the cast iron, because it will absorb it. That cast iron has pores, and it'll take in water. And that's the way we do it, isn't it, Mama?
Yeah, always ever.
Every time we wash them, we put them on top of the stove and dry them good. And then we put them up, and when they're good to go for the next time. But the main secret to cast iron seasoning is use it. Use it with protein fat. Now, you can't season an iron skillet with olive oil. The smoke point is really low. If I was going to season it with some kind of oil, you don't believe in animal fat, I would use avocado oil. It has the highest smoke point. Or vegetable oil, but you want something that's not going to taint, something that's not going to have an off flavor to it. But I would use bacon. Fry you some bacon. Fry you some pork fat. Fry some protein fats in it, and that'll season it better than anything. If you get one at a sale, a yard sale, a estate sale, and it's been used and it's got a good seasoning on it, take it home and wash it like you would any other, and dry it on top of your stove and start using it. If I've gotten some good ones when I've been out, and I can tell it's a cornbread skillet. Cornbread skillet will be nice and shiny. It'll look like it's been oiled. And you don't want to cook anything else in your cornbread skillet. You can fix biscuits in your cornbread skillet. Most people call it their bread skillet. And they don't fix nothing but bread. And bread only. No cinnamon bread, no garlic bread, just cornbread or biscuit bread. Homemade cornbread or biscuit bread. Ain't that right, Mama?
Yeah.
I think it's punishable by law. You could probably get put in prison in the South for messing up your mama's cornbread skillet. It's a serious offense. Don't put them in the dishwasher. They're not dishwasher safe. They shouldn't be using the dishwasher. But a good iron skillet, and they're not hard to deal with. And in my opinion, every household needs one. What do you use? Susan, Dick, what do you mean use on the skillet? I use my cast iron for breads only. Wanda, we have 3 or 4 that we use for breads only in different sizes. But we use cast iron for a lot of things. Gravy. We make our gravy in
Fried pork chops.
Fried bacon. We think of a cast iron skillet here as like a griddle. Anything you could put on a griddle, you could put on your cast iron. Mama, you look so pretty. Got those glasses on. Sure. Sure hope you get your car taken care of. Okay, I hope she does too. Mama with no wheels is not a good combination. Hey, Jane, I'll wash mine and put back. Come down.
It won't work with you.
Put back in hot oven to dry it after making cornbread. Jane, that's perfect. That's a good idea. If your oven's good and hot, you can dry it in the oven. Hello from UK, guys. Hey, Adam, do you all have cast iron skillets? I just set the alarm.
I need to check it in.
No. I hit the remote on the alarm. Pretty sure my life has been over over Mom's
you're
cornbread
saying
skillet. Yeah, Brenda, I'm sure your life has been threatened over your Mom's cornbread skillet. If you live in the South and you've ever touched Mom's cornbread skillet, it's been threatened. Now, we do not wash the cornbread skillet with biscuits, and if we do anything to it, if it gets a little something, we take a wet paper towel and just wipe it out and then dry it good. It's not dirty, it's sanitized. In fact, if you wash it, you're probably putting more germs from the dishwater and what you're using than just leaving it alone, because it's been in a 350-degree oven for 30 minutes.
300 to 400.
And we always preheat ours. So now some people will tell you don't have to preheat them, and you don't. We just prefer it because as soon as you pour it in there, it starts forming that crust, and then it gets browner. You've seen Mama's how it looks. To season mine, I put it in the grill and set temperature high.
Would be good.
Yeah, and if you once you've had them for a long time, they can get uneven, or they can get a crust on them, and you'll see it's starting to come off. We don't do this, but the old timers used to, when they build a fire to kill hogs or something, they'd take their iron skillets and throw them in the fire and just let them burn off, and it would burn all that off in that intense fire. And then they would start the seasoning process over by cooking hog meat in it, and that would just be a good way to re-season it. Seasoning is just when you have put oil, protein, fats into the iron, and that's what seasoning it is. If you're going to put them in the oven and season them, now what I was telling you a while ago that we put them in there and just leave them, that's different because we don't put a lot of oil in them. We just coat it a thin layer of oil, and then we'll put it in there and let it get hot, and then we'll put another thin layer. But if you season it, you're going to put quite a bit of oil in it. Put your oil in there, let it set for a while, wipe it out good, turn it upside down in the oven, and put your cookie sheet under and bake it on a high temperature for an hour or so. And that will season if it's really in bad shape. And it keeps it from getting that spidery look to it. Sherry, when would one make a hot water cornbread as opposed to a regular cornbread? Well, Preston, I'll tell you when we would. Hot water cornbread is it's a depression kind of thing, back when they didn't have anything but cornmeal and water, and they would boil water and put it in there. It's a thinner cornbread. What?
It looks lacy.
It turns into a lacy looking cornbread. You would use that when you was in a hurry and you didn't want to make cornbread, or you just wanted crunchier, because it's going to be real thin and it's going to be real crunchy on both sides, and there's not a lot of the middle part to it. So you would throw that in there. We make that kind of cornbread like if we're wanting something with a crunch to it, like with maybe taco soup. Lacy cornbread is good with that. We don't make it very often. Fried cornbread's the same way, the kind that Mama makes with the stirring it up just like she would to put in the skillet, but fry it. It's just quicker, faster, and it has a different taste to it.
Oh yeah.
So a lot of times, in the summertime, if it's too hot to start an oven or you're in a hurry, you can make fried cornbread in 10 minutes, and you have to make pone cornbread in about 30. So it's a quicker, and then it's just a preference thing too. Some people just prefer a different kind of cornbread. There's the hot water cornbread is one kind, and then the kind Mama makes when the fried cornbread, we call it. It has the buttermilk and the egg and all that. It's just a little bit thinner, and you make it kind of like you would a pancake.
Potato cake, pancakes.
Potato cake. Mama, you look like you're way back.
Well, I am.
Slide up.
I am a little. I was trying to get it behind that fan. You've got to get a little cool.
Oh, it's 72.
See, I've got on short sleeves for a change.
It's 72 degrees. I'll turn that down. Well, I'll turn it down. It went down to 1. Okay, let's see how it froze yet. It says, love my cast iron, make biscuits, cornbread, and steak. Yeah. Another thing about a cast iron skillet, it has great heat control. It's consistent. Once it heats up, can you season it with bacon grease? Yes, Beverly, that's the best. Protein of any kind will work, but bacon grease one thing about bacon grease, when you fry bacon, you get a lot of the grease, and it's you're frying it hot, and you get lots of the grease. Some meats don't have that much grease, but any kind of protein fat will work. Back in the olden days, they always used I don't know what I was trying to say, hog fat, and they would render it. Y'all ever heard of crackling cornbread? We'll make that one night. It's where you just
We don't have cracklings.
You can buy cracklings. You take a fresh killed hog, you cut off the fat, you chunk it up, and you put it in the oven, and you render it. And then it'll be like, what's those pork rinds you buy in the store? Those are basically cracklings. And they're a little drier than a crackling. The cracklings are still a little greasy. And
I've never bought cracklings in my life.
you can buy them. And but you can make crackling cornbread with that after you do that. But that's a good fat too, and you just render it out. I like the white cornmeal.
Yeah.
We have had that. A lot of times we go to Amish, we'll get that. He said bacon grease is good to season. It is. Mama's looking so pretty. Mama's all springed up. She switched her wardrobe out.
Got on short sleeves.
Now I want cornbread shirt. I do too. I was just sitting here thinking, we're not even gonna cook tonight. But I'm not hungry. But talking about cornbread,
milk and bread till later on.
yeah, we
We
could
got a
make
little
some
cornbread left.
We have cornbread left. If it's not molded, now cornbread will mold pretty quick.
Not overnight.
Hey,
We didn't have it last night, did we? Lord, my mind's
Karen, Brenda Gant loves hot water cornbread. Yeah, it's an old traditional cornbread, and it's just what it is. It's hot water and cornmeal. I don't know if I've ever seen her make it, but I'm sure she just takes cornmeal and puts hot water in it and stirs it. Is that what she does? And then pour it in a skillet and let it it'll get holes in it because it's so thin, and they call it lacy cornbread. Hello, Mama and John. Strawberry, Plains, Tennessee. Hey, Carolyn, we go through Strawberry Plains just every once in a while. Love crackling cornbread. Donna, who said that? Oh, I thought it said. I can't see, folks. Dina. I thought that didn't say Donna. There wasn't enough ends. Okay. Under tornado watch. Sherry, y'all be careful.
Where's
in
that?
Oklahoma.
Ooh.
Ugh. Sherry, we get y'all's weather sometimes. It comes right across the plateau here. I have helped cook cracklings. Love cornbread made from them. Yeah, it's a different thing. Now my dad, like I've told y'all before, we have all kinds of cornbreads. My dad loves something he called greasy cornbread or greasy bread. And the difference in what we always make in it is we put bacon grease in the cornbread. About 2 tablespoons or 3 tablespoons of bacon grease, and you stir it in it. Well, when you bake it, all that grease goes through it, and it's a greasier. It's kind of like a little bit of crackling cornbread, but it flavors totally different, texture's different, everything. So it makes a whole different kind of bread, actually. Well, thank you, Milton. But yeah, that's it. Brenda Gant just recently made some hot water cornbread on her show. We'll have to go back and look at that. Brenda Gant uses self-rising corn meal to make hot. Yeah, you'd want to use self-rising. We always use self-rising for everything we fix on cornmeal. Our cornmeal is not the plain cornmeal. It's always the cornmeal mix for cornbread. And just add buttermilk and eggs and whatever. But
a little flour and it'll rise.
Mama looks pretty tonight. Well, thank you, Miss Linda. Hello, John and beautiful Mama. Hey, Janice. We're having a great week. You got a choice. Either have a great week or just a so-so, and it don't cost you more to have a great one. I only wash mine with hot water, no soap. Sharon, that you can do it that way. You can do it that way, but the soap we have today that we buy is nothing like soap used to be when it was homemade, and it was lye, and that's what strips that off. I don't think there's enough soap, enough anything in this to really pull it off. Hey, Mama, why do folks? If I get you back there, I can't see. If I get you up here, that's all I can do is see. Do a rabbit make good jewelry? Hey, Kimberly Jackson says, "Hey, Mama, why do rabbits make good jewelry?"
Why do rabbits make good jewelry?
Thank you, Kimberly Jackson.
Because I don't know.
Think about jewelry, Mama.
Because jewelry is shiny and pretty. They've got good eyes and they can see good from eating all the carrots.
You said a word.
Because they can see good when they eat carrots.
Carrots.
Is good
jewelry.
For those. 10 carat, 14 carat.
They know they're carrots, Mama. Ray, you make cornbread with bacon? Yeah, bacon grease. Dad liked it that way. He loved fried corn. He liked cornbread anyway, but he would sometimes say, "Fix us some greasy bread." Hot water cornbread and lacy cornbread are two different types.
Yeah.
Hot water type I put in cast iron muffin stick pan, or you could probably make it thicker. Well, when we've not made it in a while. What's the difference in the lacy cornbread?
The lacy
you just make it thinner, don't
you? Real thin, and
you make it thinner, but it's still just cornbread and water, isn't it?
I don't know, really.
I think we call it all the same thing, but that may be two different things.
Yeah.
Kim says it is.
Mm-hmm.
Kim White, I guess it is, but we normally, if we make fried cornbread, we just make fritters just with regular cornbread. But when we make it with thinner, maybe we're making lacy cornbread instead of hot water cornbread. We make it the same consistency, except the lacy is a little thinner, I guess. Is Johnny cake same as cornbread? I don't know. What are you calling a Johnny cake?
It's a cornbread cake. They call it a pone, I guess, what we call a pone.
Johnny
Might
cake?
fry it on top of the stove.
I don't know the term Johnny cake. Now, do you know why they call some hoe cake? Do you know where that came from?
From a hoe.
From a garden hoe. And they would clean their hoe, and if they didn't have, a skillet or whatever, and they could just put the little bit of meal or the corn meal on a hoe, a metal hoe, stick it in the fire, and it would bake on that hoe, and they could have supper if they was out in the field or wherever they was at. I always use self-rising, never use all-purpose flour or cornmeal.
I don't either.
We use all-purpose flour on a few things. We keep it here. My aunt wouldn't make gravy with anything but all-purpose. She said it foamed too bad, and it does foam up a little bit. But we certainly do it. We do it with self-rising. Mama's all dolled up tonight. She looks beautiful. Mama, you all dolled up?
Well, not really. I just got on a shirt I've had for a long time.
We'll call it dolled up, Mama.
Well, I like that firm
Joanne,
dolled up.
thank you. We love you all too. We're just so glad to see you. I think that answered most of the questions about the cornbread. Most of the questions about seasoning are in skillets. Everything I've told you is the Mama way, what Mama does. So
Don't make it right, though. It's just what I was used to do.
no, we're not professionals. It's just us doing our thing. So hi, John and Mama. Johnny cake is made from cornmeal, thin like a pink. Well, then I guess it is. Johnny cake's thin cornmeal. Each region has different dialect on what they call stuff. I love cornbread no matter how you fix it. I don't think I've ever met cornbread I didn't like. Mexican cornbread I love. I love it love broccoli cornbread. I love onion cornbread. I love all kinds of cornbread. I love cornbread with whole kernel corn in it. I like whole kernel corn put in cornbread and just make it cornbread, not even do the Mexican. Just put whole kernel corn in it and make a pound of cornbread. It's very good that way. Cooking sauerkraut and wieners, that's good too.
Oh, yeah.
Cornbread's good with that too.
We ain't had that in a long time.
We may have to do some of that, Mama. I'll buy some good kraut. I thought the recipe for hoe cakes and Johnny cake was the same as cornbread fritters. I think it is. I think it's just cornmeal and water or what, milk. It's just the consistency, make it thinner or thicker. Hey, I sent Mama a joke in the mail, Susie. Well, we'll have to get it. Well, thank you, Sherry. I've worked today, so I may be spiffied out. Does Mama know what tackwack is?
No.
Nope. My husband talks about this grandmother making it, but I have never found anyone who... No, maybe it was just a name she gave it. Sometimes grandmothers do that. They just give it a name that means something to them. Well, folks, I hope that answers some of y'all's questions. I'm going to go ahead and check Mama's vehicle out and see if it's still running and see what that little glass door business is. I ain't never heard the beat.
Got a short somewhere.
Something, Mama. Something.
Yeah.
We may have to take it and let them tell us what's going on with it.
I'm going to have to, like I have my car.
You got to have them wheels. And you got them glasses?
I know it.
You ready to drive?
I can see and everything.
Y'all have a great night. Find you something good to eat. Make you some memories. Love somebody tonight. It's Wednesday already. The weekend is marching right toward us. We've 3 days down on this week. 2 to go before Saturday again. So hopefully, I'm not going to promise, but hopefully we'll get some flowers together this week somehow. And go from there. Mama's Mother's Day presents have been arriving this week. She says, you got a box. I said, well,
I was starting to open it, but I thought I better not.
I went practical this year. A lot of times I buy her something to wear, some earrings, something. But I've been taking notes in the past month or so. And everything she's talked about, I've tried to round up. She's not talked about much, though. But it's stuff that she's going to enjoy in practical stuff that she'll enjoy. It's not a vacuum cleaner. It's nothing to clean house with.
I'd whip him if he got me a vacuum cleaner.
It's something she enjoys. So, I think she'll like this stuff. We'll show you. So, we're going to say good night for now, and y'all have a great night. Find you something good to eat tonight. Even if we will probably eat cereal later. If we don't eat supper, we eat probably a bowl of cereal before we go to bed. We'll be a little hungry. I like for Mama to eat peanut butter crackers or something to stabilize her sugar for the night. But she ate late. And we didn't plan it either. I ate extra late. And Mama said, I'm not hungry tonight. I just ate an hour ago.
It ain't been too long ago.
So, anyhow, y'all have a great night. We'll see you later. Lord willing, at least tomorrow. Bye.
Good night, everybody, and God bless you all. Bye-bye.